It's because I haven't put myself in, look. Look, you know.
There we go.
I'm looking at a black screen.
I'm looking at the black screen.
Right. Everybody hear me?
Sounds good.
Thank you. Rubber Chuck, good afternoon. Rippy, Holly, Stitch. Obviously, the lovely Mrs. W in the background there.
Afternoon all.
How are we all today? Oh, YouTube's playing up already. It's showing me different numbers to what I'm seeing up there, but hey, who gives a flying one? Welcome to the Friday Screw Up. Well, hasn't it been an exciting week? What with London basically lost. Good afternoon, Moo. Beardy, good afternoon, Mikey. Roger the cabin boy. Yeah, we've got to now, Rubber Chuck, more than ever. More than ever, I'm afraid. It's all going to come to a head pretty soon. Oh, pardon me. We said those of you that wanted to be bored for an hour probably watched Rowley's speech. Yeah. So much wrong with the Met. So much wrong with it. No hearts in the chat either. Learn how to cancel them before the stream starts now. In fact, I can cancel them as soon as I schedule the live. Good afternoon, Para, or evening for you. But yeah, Rishi's dropped himself in the shit, really, hasn't he? He's done nothing but lie since he's had his new cabinet in, telling us the economy is getting there, but it isn't. And now they want to put all this new infrastructure in for electric when they can't supply enough electric to even consider it. And he's basically told the country that he doesn't give a shit what the courts say, whether it's the magistrates court or the Supreme Court. You tell him he can't do nothing and it's illegal or unlawful, as they put it. He's going to go ahead and spend a load of money trying to get round it again, isn't he? Or change the laws, as he said. Stuart, good afternoon, mate. Yeah. As I said yesterday in that short video, that just shows his absolute arrogance. You know, I'm going to pass new laws to get my own way. Well, he mentioned again the European Court of Human Rights. Now, we've been saying that they should have got away with that years ago. I mean, to be honest, that should have been one of the first things that went when all this started. But, yeah, they don't listen to us, do they? But it is getting very, very annoying, him sat up there saying we will continue to stop the boats when they've never stopped the boats and they've no intention of stopping the boats. And the Rwanda bollocks isn't going to change that. For those of you that don't know, for the ones we send over there, if it works out, we will actually be getting some back from Rwanda of their own. Oi, oi, Jason. Good afternoon, buddy. And they actually specify that some will be disabled, some will be problem, and we're just getting rid of one bad lot for another lot, basically. It's an exchange scheme. And originally they said they could only cope with, I think it was 2,000 at most of them. They only had things in place for about 500. So I don't know what he's going to do to make it work, but it ain't going to work. How many we got in here? 18. Hopefully Pap will be back for Sunday. One or two things have arisen. He's fine, but he may stay down for a bit, and he may be going back down for a bit. So I will keep you abreast on that, or I dare say he will himself. Can you see a stream this week? Yeah, I don't know why. Northern Ireland and that Ireland
He
particularly.
was away, wasn't he? He was on holiday.
Oh yeah, he was on Fuerteventura last
with
week.
crappy internet, his own now.
Oh yeah, he said to me
Yeah.
in the week he was back.
Yeah, I was just
Yeah.
watching
Yeah,
this-
I forgot he was away. Sorry.
Yeah, I just saw him musing last week. He was trying to watch the stream. Couldn't see or hear anything. Not seeing your ugly mug was by the side, by the way. But you can't follow anything when you can't
No.
hear the conversation.
Yes, Beardy, I have seen something about it. Literally, they're changing everything, and a lot of us will be worse off. Probably not as much as what he says, but we will be worse off. Boyley, good afternoon, Steve. Yeah, as some of you know, I did post it earlier. Yeah, I got some sad news yesterday. My favourite auntie died over in Ireland yesterday afternoon. It's not unexpected. She's been quite ill for a long time. She also had breast cancer a few years ago, but she got over that. But unfortunately, because the funerals are arranged so quick over there, usually within 3 days, hers is actually Monday. I can't get there. And to be honest, with one or two people that are going from England, expected to be going, I should say, there's some I don't want to run into. I don't want to ruin anything over there and kick off. So.
I thought the Irish liked a good fight.
Oh, yeah, they do, but not at a funeral.
Why not?
Not with this lot. But spare a
I'll
thought.
do the drinking, you do the punching.
Yeah. I shall raise my can to Jane Melly. Yeah, so it's always windy there, though, Stuart. I mean, that's what the name actually means. Fuerteventura is, I think it's Spanish for winds, high winds, or something like that. Or Windy Island. That's it, Windy Island. But it is a bitch. When I was over there a few years ago, we persuaded one of the higher places that does the trike trekking with the Volkswagen trikes up and around the hills and on the beaches. I actually persuaded them to actually let me ride the thing. I didn't need a guy riding it. I didn't want to sit on the back. But evening, Dr. Kersey. We come back and we were black. Absolutely. Well, the girls were. I knew what to expect. I was covered, but thank you, Kersey. It's been expected for probably the last 3 years now. But because I was her favourite nephew, one of her daughters actually rang me and told me, because she knew my family over here wouldn't. I don't speak to those. So. Good afternoon, Rob. But yeah, it's a sad time. But like I say, it was expected. There'll be a few whiskies going around there Monday. But yeah, it was the same with my Uncle Pat, who was her husband. I got a phone call on, when was it? I think I got the phone call on the Wednesday, and I had to get all the way over there and over to the West Coast by the Friday. And it just happened to be the weekend of the Irish final of the hurling championships or something. So you can imagine the mess that was.
They like to get them in the ground in 3 days, don't they?
3 days.
Yes, 3 days.
I nearly missed the train because they took me to the frigging pub.
No. They like to get them planted with.
Oh, the funerals, yes. Yeah, 3 days is the usual number. But obviously, with it being Sunday and whatever the weekend, they've because people got to come from all over. There'll be one coming from America at least that I know of. So they're giving them chance to get there, I think.
Yeah, I don't think Sunday counts.
Afternoon, Jack. Welcome, buddy. But yeah, they do. They get, unless there's an inquest or something, they do get them planted pretty quick over there. And they usually dig the grave themselves. There's a bottle of whiskey goes round while they're digging it, and the same when you're filling it back in. Everybody has a go. All right, James. Good afternoon, mate. Yeah, I would, Kirsty. Unfortunately, I don't drink alcohol now.
I'll drink yours.
But but I did make a promise to somebody yesterday. Now, I will open the panel up shortly. Now, you've heard me talk about getting in touch with old mates and what have you since I've been on Facebook. Now, I had another one yesterday. One of my good buddies I used to work with down there on the doors and that. We quite often have a chat. He's suffered a stroke, same as me and Dan. And he just popped up in a video call yesterday. And the first words out of his mouth was, "Oh, there's someone here who wants to say hello." And it was another old mate, the one of them that I used to work the door with as well. And Rhino, I'm Smiler. I don't know if he's in here watching. He might not remember him. Martin. Yeah, big lad. And yeah, it was great. I haven't seen him or spoke to him for probably 15 years. And they promised to come up in the new year to see us. And so I promised I'd have a drink with him. It will be only one can or one glass of something, but I will have at least one. It won't be any more than that. Not with me. But yeah, the Three Amigos. Yeah, you remember. We were known as the Three Amigos. A terrible threesome. Missing the chat again here. Don't know where
We'll have to find out if any of the travel lodges or holiday inns or whatever are available with a room. I can't see the pair of them sharing the.
They slept on the floor at my flat in Bristol.
Yeah, but they're a bit older now.
Stuart's going to have a beer when she gets back from shopping. Yeah. Oh, jeez. I don't know whether anybody else has had this bit of bug thing that's going around. I know Holly's been suffering a bit this week. Sore throat, coughing, stuff like that. James, what's your opinion on KTM bikes? To be honest, mate, the more modern bikes like that, I wouldn't have a clue. I mean, the last KTM I rode was a motocrosser, and that was probably late 70s, early 80s, and that wasn't mine. Bloke just said, one of the lads said, you know, have a go on it, see what you think. It was a new bike back then.
They're quite comfortable for pillion, the bigger ones.
What, KTMs?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've never had one of their road bikes.
Howard Ian had one, and as a pillion, because your legs are far further down, it's far
It's
more comfortable.
COVID. No, it ain't, Stuart.
Could be.
To be honest, although I've never been jabbed, never been tested even, I believe I had it back in, I think it was 2019, or it was way before lockdown. I had some, it was like a bad flu, and it knocked me off my feet for a good 2-3 weeks. So I do believe that I had it, but I've never done anything about it. Yeah, they were, James. Personally, I preferred the RM, but
Don't know which model, but it was a 750.
yeah, it wouldn't be the motocross one. But it's surprised to see they're still going. Even CCM are still going. Clues, believe it or not, an old British make. But that was the thing, back in the 70s and 80s, that was when you started getting the influx of the continental bikes into the motocrossing, Japanese, obviously. Even a few Czechoslovakian ones got in the mix. But yeah, and that basically killed off the British motorcycle in motocross. Up until then, British bikes ruled. My orange juice. Yeah, I've seen that, Rob. What was it? I can't remember that. Sunkissed, wasn't it? Test Sunkissed, and it keeps testing positive. But there again, my cat tested positive with the kits that I got from the chemist here. Yeah, there's a lot of new ones out there, Rob. A lot of the old names have popped up with retro ones. You know, there's again the Enfield, CCM, you know, BSA, Norton. They've got another one come out. Triumph, obviously, but they're not the same. Even the retro ones just ain't the same. They don't leak oil for a start. Yeah, I had a Bantam. Bantam. It is same as the chicken, Rob. BSA Bantam. Can't reach the floor. A lot of them have got quite good adjustable suspension, Holly. So you actually probably could.
They do a nice little 125 custom. She'd reach the floor on that.
Yeah. I mean, my mate had a little Kawasaki V twin. I think it was only a 750 or something, and he was under 5 foot. And all he did was got a thinner seat, and he lowered all the suspension down, and yeah, he could reach the floor.
It's just finding the right model.
We took our time doing the necessary changes, because it used to be quite amusing watching him lean against cars at traffic lights because he couldn't touch the ground. And I got to admit, I did it once as well. As you know, I put the photo up before with the sidecar, and I jumped on one of my little trail bikes, and I totally forgot I was on it. And I pulled up at these traffic lights, and the bloke's tapping on the window of his car, and I leant against it where I forgot to put my feet down. Oh, and motocross, yeah, Holly, yeah, you do need a fair bit of suspension on there, even on the smaller bikes. You could probably reach the ground on one of the 80cc pit bikes. A Coonan bike. Afternoon, Missy. Yeah, not too bad here. Yeah, that was quite nice to get that from the consultant. The fact that, yeah, I suffered a little bit because they took a bit extra of blood in the last 2 sessions. But since then, it stayed more or less level, apparently, looking at the blood tests. So she doesn't want to see me now until probably in the new year. she's going to try and leave it. I've got blood tests in the meantime, but they're going to be 3 weeks to a month apart now. And if the levels stay where they are, then I should only need the treatment for between 4 and 6 months at a time, which would be brilliant. I mean, I've been having treatments every 3 months, even closer together sometimes. So, yeah, but this is all just keeping it under control. They don't think there's anything they can do to cure it, but they can certainly relieve the symptoms a lot more once they find out where it's actually coming from. They know what it is, they just don't know why it's being manufactured, as it were. And this is down to the mass test at the QE hospital in Birmingham. And it involves apparently a very, very expensive isotope, which at the moment the NHS can't afford. My last estimate from the consultant for actually getting this test was anything between 6 months and 2 years. So, with the state of the NHS, I just think it's going to be a carry on with the treatment malarkey. There's nothing they can do about the ME from the stroke and that's just not going to go away. They're built to be ridden, Rob. If I had the strength. Too scared to. Yeah, you know, it's an expensive bit of kit just to have stood in the fireplace, isn't it? That's where one of mine ended up in Cornwall. I used to have a nice little Triumph, and I drained all the oil out of it, polished it up, and it stood in the fireplace in my cottage for a year. A couple of lights on there. Didn't light the fire in there, obviously.
Alternative Christmas tree.
Alternative Christmas tree, yeah. It did look quite nice, actually. Did you see a bit of a smashing an R1 and a drag race? Yeah, you mean the Suicide Shift one? Yeah, I mean, there was a guy over here. I can't remember what his name was now. Paul Newman, funny enough, who used to run a drag bike called Pig Iron. That was, I think it was 1.5 litre, 105 cubic inch. In the drag racing, you have to do what's called a shakedown and an observed run. Now, this involves doing a run up the track full bore so the promoters can see that you can handle the bike, make sure you're up to speed, you're not going to be a danger anywhere. Now, he blasted this bloody Harley off the line. I clearly remember it now. And he'd done a scorcher of a run. But his pit crew, when they followed him up the strip, they told him at the top end that he'd actually red lighted, which means his time wouldn't count. He left before the green light came on. And when he got back down to the pits, there was a big hoo-ha and what have you. But basically, they just told him this, what he'd actually done. He'd broke the track record on his first ever run in that class on his Harley. And and he went on to win quite a lot of championships with it as well. And that's going back to the 70s. But he was about the only one in this country that was campaigning Harleys at the time. They're all over the place now, but...
Used to be one round here and the registration was A1HD.
Yeah.
I don't know which was worth more, the reg or the bike.
Yeah, there's one, it used to be in Bristol, Rob. he had a Duke. I think it was up behind the bar, if I remember rightly. Yes, I did, James, a couple of times. But it was only for fun. At the time, it's shut now. But Avon Park, you couldn't run the big cars there because there wasn't enough stopping room. The one I didn't go to was the one where Eddie Kidd buggered himself up. I do remember the burger wagon catching fire at one year. That does stick in my mind for some reason. Yeah, and it was all for charity as well, James. It was all for charity, Bulldog Bash. I mean, that's one thing that people don't realise about the HAs. Bulldog Bash, the Kent Bike Show, it was all for charity. A lot of people didn't realise that. I've still got a bloody cough now. I shouldn't be smoking, but yeah, it was great times, James. We were away most weekends on things like that, somewhere around the country. Like somebody was always doing something. Media, yeah. It's always the same, James. When somebody does good, nobody knows. When somebody does bad, everybody knows. It's always been that way. Same with government, really, isn't it? Oh, pardon me. But yeah, but what's going to happen with London now? I mean, as I said yesterday, there were laws in place that they could have used to arrest the pro-Palestinian protesters on the monuments. They've done it before to the British. They've done it to, was it Greenpeace? They did it to some other horrible little fraction like that, and arrested them on the spot. And there was loads of I mean, Pat did post on Facebook, I think it was, the actual laws they could have used. But basically, even because they were chanting and waving the flags, obviously that's classed as a hate crime if the chants are the right ones. So they could have had them for breach of the peace, behaviour likely to cause a breach of the peace. Who's this? Good afternoon, mate. Yeah, they are. They are, Stuart. They're absolutely fucking terrified. And although there is a video going around where somebody said, oh, yeah, we were following Dictator Khan's orders. I don't believe that was said by the police. As much as the shitheads I think they are, I don't think they would have been stupid enough to say that.
Abby, can I interrupt you a moment? Just had a message. We're going to get a visitor.
Oh, Sparky?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I told him he'll have to whisper.
Yeah, okay. It's all right. We've got a mate popping round.
I said yes, please.
So I may turn the other camera on just to keep them off camera. Andy, good afternoon, mate. Yes, he is, James. He's hell-bent on destroying the city. That's what I see. He really is. And he just seems to be doing everything that he can to make it happen. And I really do believe that's what happened over the weekend. The government wouldn't ban it. The pro-Palestinian march. It would have made sense to. I mean, give us one day of the bloody year for ourselves, for fuck's sake. Everybody else protesting, marching every other bloody day of the year. We want one day, and that's what we get. Not seeing James chat. Anybody know why? James, have you blocked Stuart by some chance? We haven't blocked anybody here, Stuart, sir. The only time people get blocked here, they're usually gone. I mean, sometimes, obviously, YouTube's pissing around. No, you've not blocked anybody. Have you blocked him yourself, Stuart? I can see you both.
Me too.
Yeah,
Yeah,
are you
Top
on
Chat
Top
Alive.
Chat? Yeah, well done, Ollie. I totally forgot that one. I've fallen into that trap a few times myself.
I wouldn't have thought it would have.
I think the funniest one was when I had to ask Holly on Dan's to unblock me because I'd fucking blocked myself. And because I'd blocked myself, it wouldn't let me unblock me, so I had to get Ollie to do it. I was a very green moderator back then. When you come back, babe, can I have another Coke, please?
Yeah, of course.
Thank you. Yeah, it was funny, Rob. I'm typing away and nothing's happening. It's saying, no, you can't type this and that and the other. I'm like, what the fuck, And then I realised what had happened.
Only you could do that.
Yeah, Stuart was a Top Chat, yeah. It's a mistake a lot of people make. I'm amazed that people still haven't found the way to get rid of the hearts off the chat yet. Them annoying bloody things that go up the side there.
But some people like them. If you're not looking at the comments, I think they actually show. If you live from your phone, I think they actually show on the screen. You don't have to have the comments going. I don't know, but.
Oh, they just annoy the fucking hell out of me.
Everything annoys the hell out of you.
Oh, we can get rid of that now.
Including
We've
me.
got some nice, respectful people in here, as always. It's always nice, that is. And I think that's why a lot of people like coming in. And everybody on a Sunday for the last few weeks has been absolutely brilliant. Yeah, I've really enjoyed covering for Dan. It's a bit of a struggle to do 2 live streams a week, and that's why last week I only did the one. On US, but on live. Yeah, normally it's live chat or Top Chat, Stuart, that comes up.
And it automatically defaults to Top Chat. And if you go out and come back, it puts it back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Top Chat is the default when you go into it.
And you can't change it.
No. So, what's everybody's plans for this weekend then? Yeah, he's fine, Resist. Hopefully, be back for Sunday. You can't see the missus in the chat.
That's because I haven't said anything in the chat for ages.
Yeah, I don't know why it just picks them out. Like Holly said there, it filters out potential inappropriate comments, etc. Like, I don't know how it works. Not to get nicked. Yeah. Well, I'm actually going down into the city. It's been a long time since I've been there. next Saturday, a week Saturday, for the Just Stop the Boats protest. I'm not going down waving banners or anything like that about, but I do want to go down, have a look around, hopefully do a bit of filming. It won't be live. And I particularly want to catch up with Joe and Dion from the PTSD camp. We've supported them for a long, long time, and I've never met them. So I'm hoping to meet them there. I am in touch with Joe. We're going to arrange where and when everything's happening. And yeah, hopefully get a bit of a video with them saying hi. Maybe some of the others as well. Rob, Holly's, she's unbelievable on here. I've seen her delete people off of here before I've even seen the bloody comment. That's how quick she works. I suppose you want to go out now, dear? Huh? Do you want to go out? Oh, God damn cat. Go on then. Go on then. Could do with letting a bit of smoke out. She doesn't often go out, especially this time of year. But I'm glad she does. That means she'll lay something out there rather than in a tray for me to clean up.
No, she'll go out there, eat a bit of grass, come back in and
throw up everywhere. Yeah.
Beardy's comment.
Yeah. Can you imagine her trying to climb through that bloody window? She got to get over the chair and past me tripod first. But hopefully, because the easiest route way to get there is the bus, which is only a 20-minute bus ride from here, and it puts us within a couple 100 yards of where the protest is going to be. So hopefully, depending on how Heather feels on the day, it would be really nice because she's thinking about coming with me. So
I'm not standing there if it's pouring with rain.
Oh no, if it's raining, then fair enough. But Stuart's beer's arrived. Stepper, good afternoon, mate. Happy Friday to you, sir. Yeah, what did you think of them two things I put across to you, Beardy? I'm getting cool with that now. Still learning, but some of the ones I've done you wouldn't be able to post. But Grandma, good afternoon.
I'm having to learn as well, Beardy, so I can show him.
Oh, London was lost, Grandma. That was the main news. Yeah, I've just been messing around with it, and it's the easiest way for me to learn. All right, James, no worries, mate.
One way of coping.
So after the live, you got somebody come around to scrape you up off the carpet. Yeah. Oh, yeah. If anybody's considering traveling to what used to be our capital,
is it raining?
The travel arrangements I would look into. The pro-Palestinians now have switched from doing monuments and marching. They're going to try and block up all the train stations. Don't know if they'll do the bus stations as well, but Yeah, it is resist. I sit here looking at it, watching it, reporting on it, and it can get really depressing watching it all happen. It really can. But now there's certain things that I just tune out, like when the police say sorry. They've said it again today. I didn't even hear it. My brain just tunes it out. And that's starting to happen now with "We Will Stop the Boats" because it's been promised for so long. It ain't happened, and it ain't never gonna happen. The only thing that will stop them coming is the weather. Doesn't matter what they do, what they make illegal, what laws put in place. They will still come. Might be reduced numbers, but there'll still be those that will risk it. Yeah. Funny, isn't it? We can stop all manner of armed armies, but we can't stop an unarmed one. Or allegedly. I wish they would just float Dystopia, because that means they'd be off down way out of the channel. Yeah, it is, Stuart. I mean, they say, oh, there's been a third drop in them this year. But like I said in the video the other day, how many storms have we had this year? There's been periods where there's been weeks where they haven't even been able to get off the beach. Yeah, I wasn't in Friday, Grandma. I did put it out in a video in the week because I was covering for Dan again. It was getting a bit hard to run the two live streams a day apart. So last Friday, I elected not to do one. Most people knew about it. I did put it, in the community page. And I did put it out in a couple of videos. And I believe I put it out on Facebook as well. But that was the only reason.
And we talked about it last week.
Yeah, we did talk about it on Sunday. But there was a bit of a mix-up as well because I'd also gone over me hours allowance on StreamYard. And there was a bit of a panic even on Sunday's live because me hours hadn't reset. So very nice people at StreamYard, I thought. The young lady that I spoke to gave me a free 24-hour trial, which bridged me having to wait for me hours. And so I ended up with, what was it? I think it was a 4-hour live stream. And I've still got me 20 hours again, which starts today. I look forward to seeing myself, Grandma. Yeah, no worries, Resist. Yeah, they are, Stuart. I mean, can you imagine? I mean, that I'm too small for them to bother about. But can you imagine if I was somebody like, say, I don't know, Active, Dan, one of those type people that is known, trying to get across to Ireland in a hurry with no luggage, just a small bag. I had enough trouble back when my Uncle Pat died, and that was, oh, fuck me, that's going back 25 year at least. And they actually stopped me. It was CID actually stopped me at Bristol Airport, wanting to know why I'd only booked my ticket an hour before I arrived and why I didn't have a return ticket. And so I wasn't best pleased, and I told them that. You can always tell them they were the ones with the black and white checkered jackets. They were the CID working with border control. So I was obviously known back then. Probably for the cars, but then I bought a return ticket on the way back. They couldn't understand that one either. I said, well, I'm only going one way, but the return ticket was fucking cheaper than the one-way ticket. And it was actually the booking office at the airport that told me that, because I just turned up at the airport and booked a ticket on the way home. So I didn't know how long I was staying there. And the other issue I'd have at the moment now as well is because it's part of the EU, I don't have a passport. Technically, yes, I could get to Northern Ireland without a passport, using my driving licence and other forms of ID. And then I could go down, cross the border. You can walk across, drive across.
You'd be an illegal immigrant.
Yeah, I'd be an illegal immigrant. I'd probably get fucking arrested.
They'd ship you straight back. You'd have to claim asylum.
Yeah, they'd look through my videos and like, that fucking madman in here. Oh. Just spent our last £100 at Tesco. Not all on your beer, Stuart, was it? You want to do what Loafer does, start brewing your own.
You stopped me brewing my own because you didn't like the smell.
Oh, it was bloody awful.
Well, there you go. Not everybody likes the smell or has the space.
I tried it years ago, but we kept trying to drink it before it finished fermenting. We fart. Oh, it's terrible.
I made some beautiful wine.
I don't drink wine though, do I?
Yeah, but I had plum trees. They needed using.
Never did. That's 15 out of the 100. Oh, you ain't got a lot of beer then, mate. Oh, I know. I suppose that'll get you a case, won't I? Gosh, I remember, what was it last time I bought a crate? Probably about £6. Good afternoon, Cheryl. How are you, sweetheart? Long time no see. Sorry, I was just getting a message elsewhere there. Box of 20. Yeah. Yeah, I haven't seen you about for a while, Cheryl. Mind you, I don't go on any other streams now. I literally just mine and Dan's, that's it. Other than me videos in the week. I must start doing a few more actually now with everything coming out. There's going to be a lot to cover because we've still got the COVID inquiry going on, the COVID 2.0 beyond Partygate. Don't believe that's finished yet. Obviously, there's the Israel-Palestine thing, which I'm not too interested in, but I am interested in the shit that's it's causing here. Oh, Pap is awake. He's yeah, it's why it's causing us so much grief. And I don't believe it's all pro-Palestine. Obviously, a lot of people are saying there's an ulterior motive. I won't go into that in here because I don't do religion, as you know. But yeah, I do believe that is being used as a cover for a lot of things. Still on chemo until Feb. Yeah, they've changed mine, Cheryl, because the NHS can't afford the isotope to do my mass test, which is a monitored blood thing with some special isotope. They're keeping me on my treatment, but I only have to go in now depending on blood tests, hopefully for the minimum amount of time would be 4 months period between treatment, maybe even up to 6 months. So, although touch wood, I'm lucky, they've told me that mine isn't cancerous. So I can't imagine what you go through with that. I mean, I sit there and watch because where they do my venous sections, I'm in the same room as those that are doing chemo. Afternoon, Graham. Almost good evening, isn't it?
Pre-evening.
But yeah, I lost my father to cancer, and a good mate of mine to cancer. Well, several of my good mates, if I'm honest. And it's not nice. Well, they always thought I was a prime candidate for it, but because there is a history of sickle cell in the male side of my family. I've lost several uncles and what have you to it. So luckily enough, that is something that I did always keep on top of. I used to go in usually about once a year. It slipped a bit over lockdown, obviously, with everything else that was going on. But I always got myself screened. I used to insist on a test, blood tests. But now I've actually had, I got a letter today from my consultant. The GP surgery, would you believe, has actually honoured their word. They've put me under one doctor. I will not see any other GP in there. I may have to wait for him at times, but stick your finger up your nostril, Murph. Hang on, it's still saying your guest Murph is on an Android Chrome that has a bug that causes an echo. Try it.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep.
Am I echoing?
No, I don't hear any echo.
No. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because I couldn't hear you echoing anyway either.
Oh, there is a bit of a reverb there.
Oh, right.
Not,
okay. Well, if it gets too much, I'll drop out. You know what I mean? That's you know.
No worries, mate. No worries.
Yeah. How are you all?
Yeah, all good here.
I'm battered and bruised. I've been on Twitter all week being political, so it's it doesn't help. It doesn't help that the left wing fuckers that I'm taking on. One of them is my best friend, and he actually is the deputy editor of the Mirror newspaper, Kevin Maguire.
Honestly, with what some of the papers are putting out over here, to me they're like a comic. They make me fucking laugh, mate.
It's just how you can have 5 newspapers with all the same headline. I despair.
I'll tell you what, I prefer going through the regionals because you can find some strange stories in there. You all right, buddy? Yeah, not too bad, mate. Not too bad. But, yeah, carry on. Yeah, I mean, what's going on out there in the Middle East? It's fucking unreal.
Look, I mean, I have a simple way of looking at it.
Tony.
One of them calls me an infidel, and the other one calls me a goy. So, as far as I'm concerned, crack on, boys. I'm not interested.
Yeah, exactly. That's the way I've got with it.
You know,
there's. Oh, excuse me. I must shut the window. My fucking feet are freezing, and the cat sat down there. Besides that, the train noises are getting in my tits. Hello, I froze.
There were videos going around where the Jews were spitting at the Christians, and then the Muslims were spitting at the Jews.
Yeah.
It was like, no, that's me out of the game. That's me out of the game. I'm a Christian. No problem. I'm out of the game. Crack on.
No, I just don't like the fact that they can walk through our fucking capital, or what used to be our capital, waving their flags around. Not a fucking word is said. As soon as we wave one, that's it. Your neck, sunshine.
Well, the thing is, as you know, I live in Dubai. And if they tried that shit here, they would be straight into jail, and there'd be batteries attached to their testicles. You understand? They wouldn't dare do it here.
Many cities in America, the police are jumping on, and people say, "No, we ain't having that bollocks."
And in Spain, and in Germany, and in France, but in England, no, we'll stand with a little baby terrorist and have our picture taken.
Well, it's the same with all the fucking borders, isn't it? I mean, the whole of the EU are tightening up, and we're slackening up.
I know, yeah.
We've never really done anything, have we? We've just let them come when they want to fucking come, and even help them.
Yeah.
Yeah, still, I only, every morning when I get up, I'll be honest, I'll put mainstream on the telly. I'll watch the scrolling headlines across the bottom. I'll look at the main headlines of the tabloids and stuff. And then I go in looking what stories are about. But to be honest, most mornings, about 70 to 80% of my notes have all been made up the day before. I just leave a little bit of infill if there's any real breaking news that needs to come out.
Well, I mean, that's a lot of what you do, Roger, isn't it? I mean, on the day's news, you know.
Yeah.
So you have to do the research, you know.
Yeah, you've got to. I'm not always on the ball, not always up to date. It depends if it's an interesting enough story. If there's something in the background that hasn't come out,
yeah,
you know, like the way they've been juggling the figures and what they've said about how many are coming across and how much they're actually spending. You know, they put out a figure and you know damn well it's not right. So you go and find the figures if you can. You know, the figures they put out about thank you, darling. The figures they put out about the channel crossings, we know are a load of bollocks. Absolute load of bollocks. They always have.
That's why they banned Active Patriot and all of that from going down there and filming it, isn't it? You know?
Well, there is some sad news on Active, actually.
Is there? Yeah. I've got him on Twitter, and he said that he got found over yesterday by the police.
He got 10 months suspended.
Yeah.
I think it's tagged for 18 months.
That's right. Yeah, he is. Yeah.
He's got 2 years worth of prohibition orders from different areas of the country. And he's got 3 weekly bail reports where he has to report to the police station. And
he's got 150 hours community as well, isn't he, or something?
Yeah, a load of community service. But he says, like as usual, he won't fucking stop me.
He always reminds me of a Jack Russell. He just never gives up.
I mean, at times, yes, he can be really, really annoying. And he does goad them on. But filming himself actually breaking the law, like getting into the immigrants processing compound.
Yeah. That wasn't
like that. He's just asking for trouble. Yes, it was bringing in the viewings and it was getting it out there what was going on. But some of his antics, I used to sit here and just laugh. I used to get cracked up.
Yeah, he's a good lad, as you say. Yeah, he doesn't think it through sometimes.
No. Sorry. I mean, it was like a lot of them that were in London on Sunday. Now, it was widely publicised that there was a law put in place where they could tell people to remove their face coverings.
Yeah, Section 60.
So those that argued the toss that were wearing the balaclavas, then they had no recourse. But the clever ones wore a surgical mask.
Yes.
Oh, I've got underlying health problems. This is for health reasons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You just wear a baseball cap and a surgical mask, and no one will recognise it. You know what I mean?
Fuck me, if I was going steaming in like some of them were, I'd want a full face fucking helmet on, mate.
Yeah. And when you brought your little hard hat, well, I brought mine as well. You know, let's go. Let's see how your battens go. Yeah.
Just checking, Mert, you can't. It's not overpowering Heather talking to me, mate, in the background there.
No, not at all. No. It's all. It's in the background. You can hear it. You know, that's it. But it's just in the background.
Yeah, that's right. All right, and Graham, nice of you to drop in, mate. Appreciate you dropping in every day on the videos.
I mean, one of the big stories that is going to break this weekend, and it's not been reported, is the fact that they're in England and Wales. The National Office of Statistics has turned around and issued the results that in England and Wales, the deaths between the ages of 10 and 14 have gone up by 40%.
Yes, and to the point where they're even putting out warnings now.
Yeah.
Be on the lookout for certain symptoms, particularly different age groups. And they've also put out warnings about heart failure in the over 50s for those that are up to date with their, you know what.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So
and
why would they put a fucking warning out about that? You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, the last time we had any scandal like that was on the Down syndrome children when they gave the vaccine on that, and now we are in for one of the biggest lawsuits that is going to happen in the world.
Well, what they've done, I mean, I don't know what America have done, how their laws work. They just boggle me sometimes. But as I've said before, over here, after 1976, we had the Damage by Vaccine Act.
Yeah.
1976, which meant if you were damaged by any vaccine that was mandated, you could claim compo. Some did, some didn't. They made it very difficult to claim, obviously. But there was some notable payouts.
But they limited it, didn't they? It's something like it was $3,000 if your child was under 10 or something like that. It was nothing.
Back then, it was unlimited.
Right.
There was 8 nurses. Got, I think it was £60 million between them.
Oh, bloody hell.
They had everything, all sorts of problems. The main one was Guillain-Barré syndrome. This is all documented. Now, when this one came along, and again, the big pharma wanted immunity from prosecution. The government said exactly the same as they did that time, that they couldn't sue big pharma, but if anybody did sue for damages, the government picked up the tab, like they did in 1976 and onward. But because they feared the amount that was going to go through this time, it was limited to 2,000 something or other for some of the lower ones. The highest payout is 120,000.
Yeah, I knew they'd severely limited it. Yeah.
And you have to meet every single criteria that they put in front of you to get that. They make it very, very difficult to get.
Well, I think that Astra ruling the other day might have changed all of that, won't it?
Yes. Yep. They've opened themselves right up.
Yeah. So I think they can actually turn around.
I'm not going to mention them too much because obviously.
No. That's what I just said. Astra is anything, you know what I mean?
But they've admitted so much now that they've opened themselves right up. And the other thing is, no matter what they bring out now, people are going to mistrust it because they've been proved to lie.
Yeah. Well, if
Yeah,
you, if you look at the, if you look at the MMR vaccines that they were giving out, if you look for the last 3 years before COVID, families were saying, "No, I'm not having this anymore."
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
They're saying, "I'm not having the MMR," measles, mumps, and rubella, and they said, "Oh, there's a rise in measles. Oh, there's a rise in, rise in this, rise in that, rise in that." But what they don't actually say is that due to the influx of immigrants, polio is back in the UK.
Yeah. Well, this year they ordered
Yeah.
this next round of things that they're doing now that are advertised for the winter. They ordered enough for, I think it was 5% of the population.
Yeah.
And that was all because they said it's not worth ordering anymore because the uptake isn't there.
Yeah.
So that straight away tells you they knew it was coming.
But I've got a mate of mine who she's pro everything. She got back, she had her flu jab, and in the same day she had her other jab.
Yeah.
And she has been as sick as a fucking dog now for the last 3 weeks. I mean, I looked at her and I thought she was on death's door at one point. She's a mate of mine from school. You know what I mean? And I said, "What the hell did you do that for?"
Think about what the flu jab does.
Yeah, gives you the
It
flu.
actually gives you the flu.
Yeah.
That's how vaccines work.
Yeah. She took them both in the same day, and she got a kicking for it. I'm telling you.
Yeah. I can't understand why they keep pushing it, knowing that there's problems with it now. That just doesn't make sense to me. Whether they're playing the numbers that, if we get, say, out of 1,000, we get 50 to whatever treated, how many of those survive? I think they're playing the odds. They're playing the numbers.
Well, I mean, if you take the WEF viewpoint, where we have to reduce the population, then this is probably the perfect way to do it.
Yeah, the WEF want rid of most of us. All they want left is the elites.
Yep.
There was a brilliant meme on Facebook. Was it yesterday or the day before? Of Soros in his bloody black thing. He said, "Yeah, last time I saw somebody like this was a super criminal in a film."
Yeah, that's right.
And he dresses like, oh man. I've started making up some of my own memes now. I've learned how to use a few apps that I've got on here to do things with pictures.
I have noticed on your daily podcast you're doing a few things. You know what I mean?
I hate doing it because literally I'm taking somebody else's work and using it on my channel. I mean, okay, fair enough, take the picture, but put your own words in, put your own bit of
yeah.
But everybody does it. Everybody shares and screenshots them off of Facebook and everywhere. So, and to be honest, I've got files and files full of the bloody things and a hard drive full of them over there.
Yeah, you know what I mean? If I like it, I'll save it, but I might send it out to my mates or whatever. But it's not a case of I'm plagiarising it. I'm just saying, yep, that's a good one.
That's nice and strong, basically. Yes, sure, I've heard of that. I've never come across it, and I don't know anybody that suffered from it.
What's that?
Dancing eye syndrome. It's something like your eyes are constantly moving and you can't focus. And I think that's the one. I have heard about it, but mind you, some of the mates used to have some weird medical complications. That's something else to go into, not on here. That's a beyond the watershed moment. We'll save that for Pap's return Sunday night.
Yeah, that'll be a 12 o'clock. Yeah.
I'll be totally honest. If he does get back in time, it might not be a late one because he's going to be absolutely shattered.
He looked absolutely bollocksed up on Remembrance Saturday. He was in bad shape. And
Well,
I was saying,
he had to go home because he was in pain.
yeah, I was saying, go home. You couldn't do it. You couldn't do it. He overextended. He did overextend. And I know why he wanted to, and I know, I know his passion. I know what he wanted to do, but he just wasn't healthy enough to do it.
No, he was told, but Pap, he's like me in some respects. Somebody will tell me not to do something, and I'll go straight ahead and do it.
Yeah, I was watching Base Welshman, and Base Welshman was with him, and and he was suffering. He was in bad shape, and he just needed to go home, and
Yeah.
And he was sensible
I
enough to-
would have personally hung around it, and at the very least made sure he got put into a taxi.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, he got into a taxi. Base Welshman looked after him and kept going. And Rev and Paz went looking for him as well. So everyone was trying to take care of him.
Yeah. Yeah, but I was chatting to him on the streams and that as well, because I had all their streams open here on the day.
Yeah.
It's all the regulars.
But at least none of them got pulled, none of them got arrested.
Rev and Pat were sort of like inspected.
Yeah, that was when they were in the pub, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Who's in Great Ormond Street, Stuart? Sorry, I'm not looking at the chat here. So nobody got no further action. Yeah, I heard about that one, Stuart.
What's the no further action?
No, it's all right. He was talking about his son. I thought he was talking about somebody else.
Oh, right. Okay. You had the 82 boys that were in the Pimlico Arms, and they were sitting there watching football with a pint in front of them. The police kettled them, did them under suspicion that they might breach the peace. So they took them off and did it, and then reported them all as being arrested, but actually let them go an hour later.
Yeah, de-arrest them.
De-arrest them. So they actually...
Steve, yours has come up with the same thing about an echo, but I'll bring you up and we'll see what happens, all right? I could see your mouth okay to that, so...
Yeah, all right.
How you doing, buddy?
How are you?
Yeah, not bad. Keeping well?
Yeah, fantastic. Thanks, mate.
Yeah, you're sounding good. No echo.
No echo.
Mm.
Oh, Stitch. Yeah, she's over there.
It's over there. Like, what are you doing over there?
How you doing, buddy? How you doing, buddy? Ah.
Yeah, I got one of them, see? Use the force.
You're in the
I got the right colour beard as well, look.
I'm sure she's in there somewhere. Are you in there somewhere?
Yes, what they were doing, Stuart, they were actually following Patriots and other groups till they went into a pub or, in one case, even a fast food outlet, blocked the door, went in, and they wouldn't let anybody leave until they'd searched them.
But they were all sitting down watching the football with a pint. They weren't actually standing around. They all had a pint in front of them and were sitting down watching football.
Yeah. One of them even said he only went in there to go to the toilet.
Yeah.
And the same when they kettled them. They literally kettled them up, which is an illegal manoeuvre. But at least this time, they knew that they couldn't hold them for too long because that was proved in court that it was out of order.
Yeah.
A lot of people got compo for it, including Tyrant. So this time they only held them for about half an hour, but everybody more or less took up the option of being searched before they left.
Yeah. Which is section 60 and section 68.
Yeah, double A. Yeah.
Double A. Yeah.
They were temporary orders put in place for the weekend. They did have others that they didn't use, funny enough.
I know that. I know.
But they did use the threat of Section 5 public order offences an awful lot. And they were using that under behaviour likely to cause the breach of the peace.
Yeah, suspicion that you are likely
only if you're carrying a Union flag or a St. George's flag, apparently.
Of course, yeah. I mean, anything ISIS or anything like that, no problem.
I mean, it didn't matter which video you watched, which stream you watched. It was open bias. You could see it.
Two tier all the way.
Absolutely.
in Chinatown, they turn around and they put on their helmets and they put their visors down and they get their batons out and they're ready to charge. In Trafalgar Square, they stay in their soft hats and all they're doing is pushing people away. Two-tier.
Yep. They did unmask a few of them, Stuart. And in fairness, I did switch to a stream for about half an hour that what I would call not coming from the other side, but from the other point of view, I'll say, because I was interested. And the police weren't nowhere near as active as they were with our lot, but they did pull a few young lads and a few groups that were totally masked up. And they did actually make a few arrests as well. I think it was 80 arrests. But that was mainly for hate crime.
The seven arrests of white Caucasians that were made were one was drunk and disorderly, one of them was criminal damage, and the other 5 were breach of the peace. But none of them were connected to the march or anything else like that.
No, they won't, Rob. They won't, mate. It's absolutely ridiculous. It really is. I mean, they wouldn't let the guys in to protect the cenotaph. Which, fair enough, on Armistice Day, there were a lot of police down there. There were military down there, and there was no way that any of the pro-Palestinians would have got down there anyway, whether the football boys were there or not. But it was the fact that they stopped them getting round the normal path where the public can stand. That's what they kicked off.
They didn't even kick off. I've seen the video of it. They just pushed their way through. They didn't kick off.
And eventually the police attacked them.
Yeah. But they didn't kick off. They just pushed their way through. And even the police said, right, give it up. There's too many of them.
Well, that's why I said did I put it out on YouTube? I certainly put it on Facebook. I said the police, that they reported that they had 18 injuries.
Did they, bollocks?
So I said in the video, well, if you go out looking for a fucking fight, don't play the victim when you get hurt.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what they did. Exactly. I pointed out the fact that don't forget, you were the bastards that were armed.
Yeah. You're the ones that had the batons. You're the ones that had the batons.
Batons, tasers.
Yeah, all we gave you was Yep. So I spent the week on Twitter bastardizing the British police, the Metropolitan Police, and they said, if you don't stop, we're going to come and arrest you. I said, well, I believe there's a flight from Heathrow tonight all the way to Dubai. Come and get me, you fuckers. And they turn around. Oh, okay.
It's not just the mainstream media, Stuart. If you're a patriot and you love your country here,
you're a far right hooligan.
Now, far right. We've all been branded far right.
Far
just
right.
The same as they did with the COVID deniers and anti-jabbers. We're all far right.
Yeah.
If they want us to be far right, let's fucking be far right as far as
well, no, on Twitter and everything else, we're doing
bring it on, son.
We're doing hashtag far right. Oh, I'm having hashtag far right bacon and egg sarnie for breakfast. I'm having a hashtag far right pint. I'm having a hashtag far right.
I had a conversation with somebody on Facebook in the week, and he said, "Well, you watch your videos. I can't work out whether you're right or left." I said, "Dude, I'm lucky if I reach the fucking seam in the middle." You know what I mean? I said, it's hard to do when you see what's going on around us in this country. But when you do, a lot of YouTube creators will tell you this, you have got to try and stay on the fence and see both sides. Because there are truths on both sides.
Of course.
But mainstream media are totally biased. The government are totally biased. So if I see something good on the other side or something that I'm slagging off, I'll point it out. Same with the police. Same with Dan does. If a copper does well, I'll praise him for it. If he does it the right way with integrity and morals. And I'm like that with everybody.
Well, you know? the only thing I've got, the only reason why I've been going at the Met is because the Met rule by the will of the people. And they've lost the will of the majority of the people. They've lost by the consent of the majority of people.
And this is where people aren't looking. And actually, Rowley said it himself yesterday in that hour-long interview when he was answering questions. It's not just in London, but the mainstream media and everybody is concentrating on London.
Yeah.
But this is happening in most cities around the country. You know, there was another big one this weekend in Birmingham.
Yeah, there's one in Leeds this weekend, anti-Islam march in Leeds. Now, we shouldn't get to that
this weekend. They're going to try and block up the train system. They're going to protest all the train stations.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah, and the other one is they're going to take all the money out of the bank.
Yep. Rob,
To try and
I'll tell you what, mate, that would be my biggest wish at the moment, is if every Englishman stood next to each other, arm in arm, and just fucking walk forward towards the coast.
Yeah.
And we'd have enough people to do it if everybody stood up, but we know they won't. That's
They won't. Yeah, no, but also, if we did link arm, there'd be two people linking arms in front of us going, no, you're not going to do that.
now people are seeing why they want us all fractionalized, why they wanted us broke up into all these minorities, all these little groups. Now the reason is showing.
Unfortunately, the left wing have turned round. They've taken over the judiciary. They've taken over the education system. They've taken over all of the social services that we can lay hands on. We've got Muslim councils all over the UK now that are running the place with a concise bias. And
well, that was the thing that pissed me off the other day with fucking Sunak. He stood up there once he put his new fucking panel together, cabinet, and said, "Oh, we're going to invest, what was it, 63 million or something in Birmingham." I said, "We've got a bankrupt fucking council here, and you're going to throw them another 63 million, bail the bastards out."
Just add how much they've already lost. How much are they giving to France? How much are they giving to Rwanda? How much are they fucking turn around? How much money do they have to give away that you and I have to pay for?
Rwanda, the last figure I saw, that was one payment of about 5 million, because money's worth fuck all over there, is it?
What about France?
France, they've
Really
had
up to 200 million.
100 million.
We're up to 200 million. This is the third or fourth, fifth payment.
They have been paying other EU countries
Yep.
as well. And that's on top of the 10 million plus it's costing us now to keep the fuckers here.
Yep.
And they're going to throw more. Oh, yeah, there was another 5 million thrown at that bloody floating fucking death trap thing, wasn't there? They're going to throw more money at court cases of all things.
Yep.
It's, easily, Stuart. Easily, mate, with what they
I can
said.
give you some good news. I can give you some good news. Some good Brexit news. Spain and France are going to the EU to say, bollocks to this 60-day rule. We want British have to be allowed into our country whenever they want to come. For Spain, they're saying it's a quarter of our GDP.
Yep. You've frozen there, Murph.
Quarter of the something.
You're saying it's a quarter of our GDP.
Your audio's gone as well.
I'll come back on.
But yeah, they've thrown so much money at it, and as of yet, we've seen no results from any of it.
Yeah.
He said we're going to empty 50 hotels by January. Yes, he's already started emptying them. But what he's not saying is he's putting them in houses.
Yeah.
No, they're not allowed to work, so the government's still going to pay. The rent's going to be a damn sight higher than it was in there. They've already prepaid 6-year contracts for these fucking hotels.
Yeah.
So are they going to get half of that back, being as they've only been open for them for 3 years?
Being simplistic about it, it really does come down to the organised takedown of the West.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like
Exactly.
piecemeal, just bit by bit.
People keep saying it's coming. We've been saying it's coming for God knows how long. And people have just been deaf to it. They've buried their fucking heads in their sands or up their asses. Oh, no, it'll never happen. Or it won't happen in my time. I said, believe me, it fucking could. And now it's starting to prove me right. You know? I'm a mongrel, English, Scot, Irish, and Scandinavian. What was that? Mother had a gangbang, James. Sorry. Well, I'm English, Irish. Sorry about that, James. Yeah, exactly, Stuart. They're just moving the problems and the issues from A to B. The issues aren't going away. And they're doing nothing about making them going away. This is how they can stand there and blatantly lie that they're stopping the boats when we can see, even on mainstream media, they fucking there was, what was it come over the other day? 600 odd come over in a day again the other day. You know?
Yeah.
And the weather is our only defence against them. Try that, Murph.
Yeah, I'm good. Yeah,
That's
just people keep ringing me for crying out loud, and then as soon as they ring me, my phone goes boom, no volume.
But I'll tell you what I do. Literally, I turn everything off. I've got StreamYard open. I've got YouTube open, obviously, and Discord on a private server I go on. And I've turned Facebook and everything else off because I get so many bings and bongs going on here.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
There's a message on the other bloody phone now that ain't made a noise, but what we got? Oh, thank you very much. After an hour, you tell me I'm live. Very efficient of you, YouTube. Sean, good evening, darling. How are you?
Oh, good evening, Sean. How are you?
I'm doing the same sort of thing that we were in Asda.
Well, I'm in Yorkshire.
£2.50 for a chicken.
I'll tell you what, Rob, we actually love coming up north. We come up to Cumbria every year, as you know. And I love the people. I love the area. It reminds me of what Cornwall used to be, with its friendly people and that. Now it's just a tourist trap, most of it. But the north has escaped a lot of that.
It's mainly second homes down in Cornwall now.
Yeah, I mean, I like, where we go fishing, Silloth. It's an old Victorian holiday resort. You know, you've still got a lot of the old architecture, the old fancy hotels and stuff like that. But it's never crowded, even in the peak of the season, because people don't go for that sort of thing anymore because there ain't a lot there.
Yeah.
There's one little fun fair, and I think that's about it. If you want any excitement, you've got to drive like 15 miles, either Carlisle or Whitehaven, if you want to go clubbing and shit like that. So, yeah, and there's nothing there for the kids. I think there's 2 small caravan holiday parks. So there's amusements and shit for the kids there, so they don't bring them into town. They'll stay there. You know, and it's just a peaceful area to go.
I used to go to Polzeth, and Polzeth was beautiful. I used to love it. And you know, you'd wake up in the morning, and there was one supermarket. They'd bake Cornish pasties. You'd have a Cornish pasty and a pint of milk for breakfast, and then you'd be drinking Scrumpy all day. You know, it was.
I'm going to the kitchen to drop another one and have a Red Bull. Believe it or not, don't know whether you've noticed, but each time I've took a drink today, there is no energy drink on the table.
What, you backed them in?
No, I've reached my daily limit. No, I'm slowly cutting down. I know they're not good for me, but I do enjoy the taste, and I've always loved fizzy drinks.
Yeah,
I am seriously cutting down. I'm down to 2 tins a day now.
I can't preach. I've had 3 coffees today, so that's me. Well, way over the limit. I'm hyper.
Well, I won't drink coffee if I'm drinking that. Occasionally, I'll have a coffee.
Yeah, because they're caffeine based,
I
aren't
haven't got anything else on the table.
Yeah.
But I'm one of these. I've always preferred cold drinks. Like even when I used to work with my old man many years ago on the landscaping, you know, the customer quite often come out, "Oh, do you want a cup of tea, lads?" Well, I always used to say yeah, because then the old man would get 2 cups. But cider, me proper English juice. Proper handsome that is, isn't it, James? And then Bob's Cider Farm down in Somerset. Fuck, the amount of times I've tried to call out there after 2 days.
It is yeah.
Oh, we used to go in there. We go down and get a couple of gallon off of Bob. So it was an hour's ride away on the bikes. Bob's a very sociable bloke. So it was always, you got to try the last pressings,
Yeah.
And before you knew it, you were arsehole. You were rolling around on the floor. You forgot why you got there. And
What day of the week it was? Yeah.
And 9 times out of 10, when you left, you forgot to take the fucking cider you went there to get.
Go back the next day.
Perfect crime.
Yeah.
He may be in the background watching. You will need to talk about my mate Crazy before, who lives up in Newcastle. Well, he had a Suzuki at the time, and we ended up at Bob's at the cider farm. And I ended up sat pillion facing backwards, swigging out of a plastic container that I took out the 2 that were in the box on the back rack. I was fucking swaying. And in the end, he just pulled up and he got this fucking bungee strap out me and bungeed me round his waist. Bunged me feet to the pedals so I couldn't fall off.
All aboard the Scrumpy Express.
Oh, it's fun. I was waving to the people following us and cheers. Fucking lighting fags and all sorts.
Oh, my first trip to Polzeth was on a Honda Bentley 250.
Bentley, not Bentley.
Bentley.
I remember him. I had the 175.
All right. Yeah. What a tank.
You couldn't get any custom exhaust for him, so I just hacked through the back.
Just big old tank.
It was one of the ugliest fucking bikes there ever
Was
was.
it? Yeah.
I mean, they're probably worth about 10 grand now. I mean,
People love them. People love them.
Gave me that one. It was one of his. And he'd had it for, I think it was about 15 years. All my mates are riding around on the latest fantastic Japanese 2-stroke. Then it chug on the fucking twin thing.
The market for 125 carbed bikes has gone through the bloody roof.
Yeah, but they're all the restricted ones now. And the other thing is,
no, the old ones, the old 125s, the old carburettor rather than fuel injected. They've just gone price wise.
Yeah,
I mean, you'll pay 20 grand for a bloody 125 now.
You'll pay upwards of 6-7 grand just for a FS1E, mate.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean, there was a Z9. I watched the auction live in America because that's all they had up was the Z bikes.
All right, the Z1 it's gone through the roof. Z1 is just crazy.
Z9.
Back in a second, you guys.
All right, buddy. In mint condition, absolutely mint, factory paint, everything immaculate on it. I think it had about 1,000 miles on it, and that went for 80,000. Crazy prices. And there weren't one on in there. Even the rough ones were going for 20, 25.
The problem you've got now, the problem you've got now in the UK is that most garages don't know how to fix a carburettor bike.
It's all done on computer.
It's all done on computer, so they want fuel injected. They want to plug it in and find it. I watched a very interesting article the other day about what is a motorbike mechanic and what is a motorbike technician and the difference between the two of them.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, you talking about the difference on that, again, Crazy. If he's there, he'll remember this because I got stick for it for fucking months. Back in the 70s, he had the first production turbo bike that Kawasaki bought out, which was the GP said 750 turbo.
Oh yeah, beautiful
The
bike.
turbo
Loved it.
was right at the bottom of the drop of the frame in front of the engine. Now, up until then, turbos on bikes, I'd never heard of the bloody things. Like, and we went out for a ride out to Swindon. And there's a big, long, straight road there near Watchfield. And he said, hang on. He said, I'll open it up. So we got to the other end, about a mile away, pulled over. He said, well, what do you reckon then? So by the time I'd got my feet out from under his fucking armpits, managed to sit up and get off the fucking thing, I said, yeah, fine. He said, we were getting some strange looks. I said, well, yeah. I said, not only were my feet under your armpits, I said, I was laid flat out the fucking back off the end of the tailpiece. it just came in. And I weren't expecting it, mate. And I'm back. And if I hadn't tucked my feet under his armpits, I'd have been off.
Yeah. I was on a Suzuki 500 Gamma down in Lewisham High Street one year, and I had John Carroll on the back of the bike, and we were both in the army, and we were heading back, and this guy pulled up in the car beside us, and he starts revving, and it's like, okay, it's a standard quarter mile along Lewisham High Street. It is a pure quarter mile. And I said, I'm gonna have him. And I said, hang on, and I said, I'm gonna go for it. Right, and he's revving, I'm revving, and as soon as the lights went green, we went. Right, and I got to the end.
Sorry, Muff. Resist. Don't worry about it, mate. We've been getting updates here all day. I've had a few. Heather's had some as well. And I do believe YouTube is doing a lot of updates as well in the background, pending going live with this new act.
AI.
They're just trying to sort it out with Ofcom exactly how far they can go with their censorship or something. So I've been told. Don't take that as Jen, but that's what someone informed me was going on at the moment. Oh, pardon me.
Good luck on the journey.
Most of them been banned. Yeah, Sean, I run zero tolerance. I won't entertain the idiots. We got the same sort of system in on PAPS. We are a little bit more lenient in there than I am here, but yeah, we want clean streams, and so far, touch wood, that's what we've been getting. And to be honest, I haven't seen any difference at all in the viewings. I don't talk about the other people, the idiots and what have you, and I just leave them alone. They go off elsewhere. I'm just clueless. I haven't a bloody clue who you're talking about, so I can't. Well, it's like everything, mate. If something feeds on something, if you cut off the feed, then it goes away, one way or the other.
I just can't. I really can't understand why this YouTube vitriol goes on. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous.
Some people thrive on it. Some people thrive on it, mate. It's a shame.
Yeah.
Maybe they got different issues to everybody else. I don't know. But I don't play games with them on here. If they fuck around in the chat, they're out.
Goodbye. Yeah.
Zero tolerance.
And you.
We're not being too loud over here, are we?
Not at all. No, this is you being quiet, Mrs. W.
Well, I know that.
Yeah, not so much research from my assistant here today.
Sorry, I'm playing hostess with the most here.
Yeah, it's a mate of ours. You remember I always said there's somebody that usually drops in on a Friday, but it's usually after 7 o'clock. Sod's law, he turned up early today.
There you go.
He finished work. But he always gives us a warning because he texts us to tell us to put the kettle on.
I'm on my way, yeah.
Oh, he's a big tea drinker. Well, the pair of them are, really. But
you got a hoofer there, Mrs. W?
Have I got what?
A hoofer. You coughing?
Yeah, we both got this, like a chest thing, and
I've had it for a week.
Have you? Oh, bloody hell, mate. All right, okay. Well, stay safe.
Oh, it is what it is, whatever it is.
Thank you, James. Thank you.
If I catch a cold, it goes to my chest. It's like Roger, it likes that part of
It's
the
got a lot of room to get on there as well, believe me.
I'm taking the
So
fifth.
her colds are always bigger than everybody else's.
No, no.
Sorry, darling.
Yeah, I couldn't hear what either of you were saying because you were both talking together. But
I'll tell you what, I mean,
I was just making sure we weren't making too much noise.
talking of women, and I'm not being rude here. I'm getting to a point. There was this big thing today about HRT for women and about how women should have HRT and everything else like that. And it got me thinking that my wife is Filipino and she wouldn't know what HRT is in a million years. She wouldn't have a bloody clue.
No.
She just gets through it, and I mean, all of her mother, her grandmother lived to 96, 98, nearly the century. You know what I mean? They all lived near the century. They eat rice, fish. They love their food, love what they're doing. But she'll never take a tablet.
No, but were they on the pill most of their life?
No, they don't use contraception.
And that's what that was my point. We, from an early age, we are, as ladies, encouraged to add hormones into our bodies so that we can control what it does. Then
Totally agree with you, Mrs. W.
Then they go, right, okay, your body's not producing any hormones anymore, so you don't need any extra. You know, it's a bag of poo. We need extra. We need
See your point. I do see your point. I see it. As I said, you know, I look at Annabelle and she never takes a tablet, never does this, never is sick.
Mayer's flown out to Israel, apparently.
No, but
he's in Israel. Yeah, he was. Didn't you know he's out there? Yeah.
No, I didn't watch his last video. I didn't hear him say he was going.
Yeah, no, he's going out. He's going out there, and hopefully he said, hopefully I'll be going into one of the tunnels.
Oh, fucking hell. Well, he's got to be careful because his parents are Iranian, aren't they?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Yeah. So, but I think he's well protected. I mean, everyone said he's Mossad, so they're all there. Oh, you're a Mossad stooge.
It'll do his ratings, I'll tell you. Cool, they went after.
Oh, he's going to go through the roof now.
I mean, the police went to arrest him the other week, didn't
they? Yep. And I guarantee he'll be arrested when he gets back.
So, sorry, Merv, I'm not ignoring you. I'm just.
Oh, relax, mate.
I got into that bad habit again of ignoring the chat.
Oh, relax.
Well, I'm ignoring it, so you better pay attention.
Yeah, that's it, Rob and James especially. The reason I like to run a nice friendly chat, have a bit of banter, have a good giggle, you know, as long as the banter don't go too far. Because it's something different to what I normally do on YouTube. I mean, as I said earlier, when you looking at all these stories about what's going on, watching clips, watching videos, even mainstream media, it does get you. And the lives, I don't know, it's just totally different. I enjoy it.
This is like just having a pint down the pub on a Friday night after a hard bloody walk.
Yeah, we've all finished work on a Friday. We've finished early.
Let's forget the shit. Let's forget the crap, and let's just crack on. And let's just crack on and just enjoy and forget the crap that we've had to deal with all week. And trust me, we all have to deal with that. You know what I mean?
And if you've got a half decent pub, they don't allow the idiots in.
Exactly. And there you go. Well, the landlord I hear is quite strict. So you know, it's a case the landlord and the landlady. Used to be an ex-bouncer, you know. Used to be an ex-bouncer.
Yep. On behalf of the management. No, it's just a release. And that's why Dan does it as well, because he enjoys it. He lives for the lives.
Yeah.
You know?
But Dan does it. Dan encourages the nutcases, you know. It's like Red encourages the phone calls.
With Dan, we try and do, obviously, we try and help people. You know, obviously, there's a lot of people in here that I know. Some of them have issues, some of them have problems, all sorts of things. but we don't tend to talk too much about it in here. You know,
Yeah.
I haven't got the network in here to put people on to this person if they need this. I haven't got that sort of network going.
No, I know what you're saying. I know what you're saying. You know.
You know, there are one or two, as I've said before, that we've been in touch personally. At Touchwood, absolutely fine. They're over their issues and problems now. And yeah, I helped in my way. And that was literally through phone calls. Being there to talk to somebody, advice where I can. You know, you can always give advice. You can't make people to take it. But I use it as an opinion. And both of them are doing very, very well, which was nice to hear. You know, it's.
Well, I work with a lot of boys and girls who had PTSD and still have PTSD. So that was my weekend last weekend, and it started on Friday and it didn't finish until Monday evening.
Yeah, I mean, Dan does, believe it or not, when he's at home, he does a hell of a lot of work off camera, especially for other people.
Yeah.
You know, as he says, when he says he's got 200, 300 messages waiting on his phone and several hundred emails. I've been up there and I've seen it, and he has.
Yeah.
It's so much to cope with. And that's why I've never wanted a bigger channel, because I wouldn't be able to cope with that amount.
But you should be monetized now. You're over 500.
I've never monetized, mate. I don't want to. It doesn't just go on.
No, I don't want monetized. I don't want monetized. But over 500 now. You've got over.
You've got to have certain amount of viewing hours as well.
Have you? Oh,
yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I thought it was only 1,000 hours now. You should be over 1,000 hours easily.
I don't get that many. I mean, most of my videos are less than 100 a video.
Really?
Yeah. That's what I mean. My audience, that it's not targeted, and I always say, look, I'm an acquired taste. You either like me or you don't. If you
On the drum, you get in the corner. On the drum, you get in the corner. You listen.
I'm quite open. If somebody doesn't like me and they don't want to watch me, I'm not offended if they leave. You know, I'm fine. I'm like that with other people.
Cards on the table, isn't it?
Yeah. The only people I want in here are those that want to be. And I feel very, very lucky because I've got plenty in here that were here right from day one.
Yep.
They've been here all along. And all the regulars, like the Friday crew and that in here, they've all stuck by it. They've stuck by it when I was down, when I was ill, when I wasn't putting anything out. Same as we all did with Dan. And, you know, again, look at the amount of people I've got in here to what Dan has.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I get the same sort of feeling as Dan does. You know, it's it's a great bunch of people.
Plus, it's a nice feeling knowing that there's just not that many of you, and it is a community, and you know a hell of a lot of the people. I've
always been honest. Most of my subscribers came from Dan. They're people I've met through Dan's channel. When I started a channel, they came over as well. Some didn't bother staying, which are absolutely fine. Like we've seen on the last few Sundays. We're on an average of 100 to 200 on Dan's live. I think I had 60 on at one point. But there again, that does show that, you know, there's people that are there for Dan. It's his channel. They don't do things or like things the way I do it. So they don't come. That's absolutely fine. You know, I'm not going to fall out with anybody over it.
Exactly. Yeah. It's pointless.
Yes, James, you have been in several guises.
I'll be back in a minute. Just going to the loo.
All right, mate. But no, Fridays for me, I really, really do look forward to. And if there was any way, well, I could have done last Friday, as it turned out, but I hadn't contacted StreamYard by then. So it might have ballsed up the Sunday night one.
Right, yeah.
But I knew there was more on a Sunday. And I always said I'd cover for Dan just to give people somewhere to come and chat. Even if I just sat here reading the chat and chatting to people in there. You know, it give them somewhere to come. And
Yeah, they've been really
I
good
wouldn't have
streams.
felt guilty, but I would have hated myself for not being able to do it after saying I could. You know?
They're fantastic streams. They're really mellow streams, as I remember.
Yeah, that's what I like about it, mate. You know, yeah, people take the piss out of each other in here. Absolutely fine, but none of it goes over the top. Nobody, I've never seen anybody in the last probably 4 weeks of anybody take offence to anything anybody said.
Get upset or anything.
You know, and it was exactly the same on Dan's while he was still there. Yeah, and that's encouraging to me. That means we're all heading in the right direction, but we're still getting the message out when we need to.
Yeah.
No, thank you, lot, Sean. You know, I'm only the guy here providing the service here. It's you guys that make a channel, and any creator will tell you that. If you haven't got the people in there, you might as well give up.
I think you have got your own talent at being a content provider, though, Roger, because there's been a couple of times where at the beginning of the stream, it's people are just putting up stuff in the chat saying what they've been thinking about during the week. And you haven't had the panel up yet. So you're just fielding every question from whichever angle they're coming from. And you just, that's quite entertaining on its own. Like,
well, because I don't do a phone in, and most Fridays is usually a 3-hour stream. So what I do, I don't get a lot on the panel, and I can only take 5 plus me on there anyway. So I open it up. I just have my little catch up, let everybody say hello and see what the feeling is. You know, I'll put a bit out like I did on London straight away. So when you open the panel, that there's a talking topic there to get on with, you know. And then literally then I've got no notes from anywhere from that, following on from that. I just go with the flow with what's on there.
follow the chat.
Yeah, and you know, just want to tell the shopkeep how much I his score. Thank you, Resist. Yes, James. I'm one of these. As a young man, I always had the piss taken out of me, and sometimes it was a bit nasty, but I felt it was easier for me to deal with, and I felt like I was getting my revenge by giving a bit back. And you develop that sort of banter, and eventually you can turn it around to where, yeah, okay, you're just having a giggle and that's it. Nobody's offending anybody. You know, if people want to carry on, you set the limits, and if you step over those limits, then bye-bye. Yeah, it's. I've never minded anybody taking a piss out of me, because I believe I don't have the right to take the piss out of anybody else, unless I'm prepared to accept it myself, as it were.
Yeah, but because he.
Yes, Stuart, you just go with the flow, mate. You know, like I'll jump around on subjects, as everybody says, but that's literally because I'm reacting to the chat. And quite often, by the time I've said what I've said about that, I've forgotten what I was talking about before anyway, so it's irrelevant.
Sonality works so wonderfully. You know?
I don't know, Sean. I don't quite know what his travels plans were. I don't know whether Holly's still in there, whether he's been in touch with her. He was on Discord earlier, but if there's anything, I will always let you guys know anyway.
Who's that for?
Pat, you know, if there's any updates and that, I'll always put it on.
Yeah, of course.
The community page. Myself or Holly will always.
I was generally worried about him last Saturday. I was generally worried because I was on his live and I could see he was suffering. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he's got another couple of issues on his plate at the moment, but it's not. Well, it is concerning him, but it's not to do with him, if you know what I mean. So,
yeah, I know. It's about his move as well, isn't it? He wants to move back to London, you know.
James, I was working on the land at 12 years old, up the local farm, and for my father, landscaping.
I grew up on a farm. When the hay time comes and when the silage comes time, you work. You don't get any.
When you come from a little farming community, you did.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the village has expanded now. They started building a couple of council estates on there and all sorts years ago. But back in the day when it was a little hamlet, shall I say, obviously Wiles and Berkshire. Yeah, that was it. Harvesting come round after the veggies had finished and spuds and stuff like that. The locals would be out in the field picking up what was left, what was missed by the machines, which you could do well, you still can legally do that. But yeah, everybody banded together. You used to walk through the village, you'd see front doors wide open, and you damn well there was nobody in because you just passed them up the road. But the door would be wide open. It's a different world.
I wonder how it became possible for such places to arise.
You what? Sorry,
What do you mean by erupt?
I mean, it sounds, especially to my generation, and onwards, like the most perfect life in the world. Didn't have to lock the doors and stuff like that. But it's not like
you did, but it was luckily it's where you were born. Where you were born.
There was always a village idiot.
Oh yeah.
There was always one village idiot. You understand? I grew up on a 144-acre farm in Ireland, and we never locked our doors.
Yeah. It was, well, James, for a traditional way of life as it was back then. If you went out on the poach, if you had half a dozen birds, you hang them on people's doors on the way home if you had too many. If you had half a dozen in the traps and you only wanted a couple for yourself, you took the others and hung them up for the locals. Same with
I used to pay my school bus driver with apples.
Yeah. Oh, scrumping was
From the orchard.
Local farmers learned about.
My grandfather built me a go-kart, a buggy, a motorised buggy. I used to drive to school in my buggy every day down the back road, and it was just the way it was. It was the way it was. It was a simple way.
I rode a 650 Triumph sidecar to fucking school when I was 15.
Yeah, you know what I mean? It was just a way of life. It was a simple way of life, and you get that in Asia now. You still get that in Asia, but you don't get it in the West.
I mean, the first time the farmer ever hit me with the salt pellets out of his fucking shotgun, I was like, everybody was like, the salt don't hurt, the salt don't hurt. It fucking does.
You get blasted.
You don't stay up that tree if they hit you, put it that way. But you get a good 80-yard stead start on them, you could escape the worst of it.
Yeah.
But that's what it was like. I mean, a tractor went missing from the farm one night. Fucking hilarious. 6 o'clock in the morning, I get some knock on the door. Right, you bunch of bastards. He said, were you down the pub last night? Yeah. He said, where'd you leave my fucking tractor then? What do you mean the tractor? He said, there was about half a dozen of you seen coming into the farmyard. You starting it up with your fucking key and then trotting off down the road with him, giving him a lift home. He said, that's the last time we saw the fucker. Apparently, I brought it back to the pub and left it in the pub car park.
I got the saving of my life. I must have been about 11 or 12, and I started this tractor in the yard. And I didn't know how to turn it off. So in my panic, I drove nearly 8 miles down to my uncle's garage, which was a Texaco garage on the Ennis Road. So I'm driving down this main dual carriage road with this tractor, and I arrive in, and I go, I don't know how to turn it off.
Yeah.
And he just turned around. He gave me a clip, and I flew across the yard. He went,
I don't know whether you've heard of the company. What was it called? We used to service like the big Moxie dump trucks and the Fiat Alice swing shovels and
I know those. Yeah.
the excavators. And we had this lad over in the store. I used to work in the store, so I didn't have anything to do with servicing. And we had this lad in there. I would say he was probably about 18. And they asked him to go and move one of the small excavators out in the yard. So they just assumed that he knew how to fucking drive one. But he jumped in, started it up, saw the lever that said 1, 2, shit like that. Obviously, there's no reverse because you do it with the fiddlesticks.
Yeah.
Of course, as soon as you put it in gear, you don't have to touch nothing. The fucking thing takes off.
Takes off.
And he's out there for 20 minutes and you could hear this thing screeching and rattling. And he didn't know how to stop it. He's going round and round the fucking compound. He's ripped up 4 inches of fucking concrete, over half of it. One of the service engineers had to jump on the track until he got level with the door, jump in and knock the fucking thing out of gear. Oh, it's things like that that stick in my mind. I mean, I worked there for about a year. And then I got the sack for driving the big hydraulic forklift through a fucking porter cabin.
I'll tell you, it's a good one, a good new channel that's out now, Welder Faber. Have you seen him?
No, I don't get a lot of time to look at stuff like that at the moment.
He's good. He fixes all the heavy machinery he fixes the excavators and the things like that. It's real heavy duty welding and everything else like that. But he's called Welder Faber. He's very, very good.
Yeah, I've seen 1 or 2 of them. Normally, if I get a spare bit of time, it's usually motor racing. It's like the farce that's going on over in Vegas this weekend.
Yeah, I know that's ridiculous. So I've watched a couple of the American YouTubers, one of them, Wonder Hussey, and she's just going, "What have they done to Vegas?"
They've turned the local population against it straight away by what they've done.
Yeah.
It's cost them 80 odd million to construct the track.
I know,
Now, believe it or not, a fair bit of that came from a lot of the casinos and hotels.
Of course, the mafia. Yeah.
They've had to drop their prices drastically because people ain't booking.
Yeah.
And it's the track. The drivers are complaining all over the place. I mean, who was it? Perez got the front of his Ferrari destroyed by a small manhole cover that came up. The tyres don't work because it's going to be run in the evening when the track's too fucking cold.
Yeah.
And basically,
nighttime race, isn't it? Yeah, nighttime race. Yeah.
And basically, you've got 1 long straight, 1 long bendy straight with some wiggly bits at each end, and that's it.
Well, I mean, when it comes to the drivers,
hang on a minute. Sorry.
It's not the manhole covers that are giving up. It's the concrete that holds the manhole covers that's giving up.
Yeah, because they're bolted down, aren't they?
The cement that holds the metal work in is being sucked up by the ground effect of the cars.
Yeah, and they had the same problem. Oh, they had the same problem on another track. Brian, my mate, just said it's the concrete that's failing and the aerodynamics are sucking the cover up. But looking at it, it was about 8 inches round, but it was about a foot deep. It'd be like running into one of them fucking security posts.
I can't remember.
I mean, when it comes to drivers, normally I just do FKM.
It was somebody like the fair.
Yeah, I mean, I watched it's a couple of years ago, NASCAR. I mean, they're circulating this oval at 200 miles an hour, and there's 3-foot sections of concrete rolling up behind the cars as they're going through.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy. Yeah, that's the American way, though. The American way is, you build it, you race it, and if you survive, all good. Yeah, that was a great day.
It actually will be, if they fuck up this one, this will be the second one they've screwed up.
I know, yeah, because they did it before, didn't they? Did they do New York one or something? It was New York.
It was Daytona, I believe it was. Using the oval and the infield. Now, on the NASCAR racing and the IndyCar racing, they grind grooves in the track. It's almost like a washboard, very, very, very small. But the Formula One cars were dangerous on it. It wouldn't work. They just couldn't hook up. The tyre provider at the time couldn't come up with a tyre that worked.
That was Michelin, wasn't it?
It started with 5 cars on the grid.
Right.
They weren't going to give a refund if they started the race. That's the way motor racing used to work. If they run a race, you don't get any refund.
You don't get a refund, yeah.
But with 5 of them running, a lot of the crowd left before halfway through. And loads of them screamed, and then they had to give a refund in the end. But yeah, only 5 cars started because of the track. The drivers deemed it to be dangerous.
Well, I don't think this one is going to go too well. I know a few people who live in Las Vegas, and they've been going around and looking at the track and everything else like that, and they're saying no.
But it's going to be one to watch because I think there's going to be a lot of cars in the wall. The only good thing I can see about it is there won't be penalties for exceeding track limits, because if you do, you're fucked anyway, aren't you? You know what I mean?
That's why I always say to the drivers, fuck them, FKM, fuck them.
You want to exceed track limits here, there's 3 foot of rippled steel there that tells you ain't going to fucking get away with it.
If you don't want to take the money, I'll take the money. I'll get in the bloody car and we'll see how fast I can make you go around that track. There you go. Thank you very much. Don't say, fuck up. Go away. You prima fucking donna. You know, I might be 110 kilos. I'll drive it.
But yeah, I mean, I shall watch the rerun of it at some point, but the last one they had there, it was done in one of the casino car parks.
That's right. Yeah, it was. Yeah. But wasn't that an exhibition?
Well, it was on the calendar. It was a race, but they did it because IndyCar did it there as well.
Yeah, that's right.
Before they split up to IndyCar and the IndyCar League and IndyCart.
It's just given America's history of successes, I don't think this one is going to be one.
Well, a lot of people don't realise the Daytona 500 was actually on the Formula One calendar for many years.
I know it was.
You know, a lot of drivers elected not to race it. They said, no, it's not worth the risk, you know, for what we get out of it, the points and the money and that.
Yeah.
But a lot of them did, and a lot of them won it. There was Graham Hill did it, Jackie Stewart did it.
What's his name? The Italian guy.
Quite a few of them. Franchitti.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of Brits over there racing now. You know, Mansell.
Most of the rally boys go over and do it.
Yeah. But again, there was a lot of politics brought into it, mainly by big corporate sponsors. And that kind of ruined it for me. A bit like they did with NASCAR.
But then with rugby, as soon as any kind of corporate entity gets involved, it's any sport whatsoever. You know, you've got to go and you've got to do press events, you've got to do this, you've got to do that. More so in rugby and racing.
Yeah, I mean, there was quite an interesting documentary on last night. Actually, it was based around Bernie Ecclestone.
When you're looking at the president,
but what he was doing was telling the story of Formula One right from the 50s. And I was particularly interested because they did show a lot of old footage that I've never seen before.
All right.
You know, different aspects, different angles, probably personal films that have come out. There was a lot of footage of the drivers away from the track, socialising with each other.
Yeah.
You know, going into the backgrounds like Hawthorne, Surtees. But it seemed to run from the 50s to the 80s, and then the documentary just stopped. As if Formula One had stopped at the beginning of the 80s.
Well, that's when it went to ratchet, isn't it?
Yeah. But
that's when Nigel Mansell turned up. That's when Nigel Mansell turned up. Come on.
Hang on, guys. I'm just getting an update. That's me down back from Pap's on his way back to Liverpool as we speak,
Okay.
I believe. I'll just verify that.
Then lock up your daughters. Just kidding. Just kidding.
That's on the loose. That's on the loose.
Warning, Paps in the area again.
No, I'm just having a quick. Telling him about everybody's concern.
Yeah.
I've just had a thought.
Yes.
Oh,
mate.
It's a bit-
no. Hold that thought for a second. Are you sure you've had this thought?
It was definitely me because no one else could have come up with this kind of thought.
You've got someone in the background.
Hang on, I may have got this wrong here.
Go on, your thoughts.
Oh, my thought. Given that the majority of people aren't,
No,
making
it
sense,
looks like he's going to
and
travel
that
back
if we
tomorrow.
open our mouths, we're immediately denied and called insane. Why don't we start championing all the things that like the WEF are championing? Start opening our mouths and going, "Hey, everyone, we should have 17 ESGs, environmental sustainable goals. We should do this. No one should be able to go anywhere."
The thing is,
That's not a bad thought.
They'll do their usual thing and they'll say, "Oh, here they go again, the mountain," and then they'll think that's nuts, and they'll go on with common sense.
We could do it as a reverse thought.
Exactly, reverse psychology.
We could actually turn around and counter every.
hang on. Stuart, sorry, he's not on the way back. I misread the message. He's going to be travelling back tomorrow. He's on the train coming back from somewhere else at the moment down there. So. You don't even want to know what's going on in there. Sorry, I'm trying to multitask here. And
I know. It's not good for you, my man. Take care. Now, don't stress yourself.
6 o'clock. And if I try and do too much, fuzziness is going to start.
It's 10:11. It's 11 minutes past 10 here.
Yeah. I mean, I had not an episode the other morning. You guys know I use the devil's lettuce for me tremors and that in my legs. And I got up the other morning and they weren't particularly bad, but it was enough to be annoying, as it were. I couldn't sit still. I couldn't be comfortable. And I looked in the ashtray and there was half of one there. And this is about 6 o'clock in the morning, mind. So, fuck it. I'll go out the back and have that and it'll slow them down. I come back in and sat here and fucking fell asleep for an hour. Dan, good afternoon, mate. Yeah, I misread that message. But now you're here. Welcome to Police Abusing Powers on a Friday. Just wait. There's about a 15-second lag between us guys on StreamYard and the YouTube. Yeah, it's getting worse as well.
Murph's image is looking pretty funky at the moment, isn't it?
The what? Sorry, mate.
Murph's image. It's got that flashing thing there.
He does have a lot of problems with the tech over there. I mean, it's Dubai, and they got a different censorship regime as us as well. You know.
Right.
Well, put it this way: you wouldn't be flying Palestinian flags. You wouldn't be flying Palestinian flags in Dubai. I can tell you that for nothing. You wouldn't be standing on monuments in Dubai. I can tell you that for nothing. You wouldn't be turning around and be just having policemen standing there taking pictures with you with your flags for nothing. I can tell you that's what will happen in Dubai if you try any of that shit here. That's what would happen. I was going to say, Holly, if you could deal with that. I don't want that name mentioned in here.
I thought in Dubai they were all sort of Arabic, and the Palestinians were on the Arabic side of the conflict.
They also know not to raise any other flag than the UAE flag.
The dearly
any other flag
for the Grand Prix.
If you raise any other flag, they have batteries with terminals to your gonads.
I remember you mentioning that, yeah, and they're
That's
struggling
not
to get to that
punishment,
joke.
that's foreplay.
Yeah, well, I know. Yeah, well, he doesn't know my BDSM side yet. It's when you get to lithium, then you're an expert.
I mean, and that's what should happen here, to be honest. As far as I'm concerned.
It's illegal. It's illegal here. It's illegal in Saudi Arabia. It's illegal in Qatar. It's illegal to fly any other flag than the national flag.
Good
If you
evening,
fly
Mr.
another
Smith.
national flag, you're
Welcome
arrested.
to Murphy
You're
Show.
thrown in the gulag.
So the United Arab Emirates, is that a country?
It is a country. It's the United Emirates. So you've got Sharjah, you've got Abu Dhabi, you've got Dubai, you've got 7 Emirates, and these Emirates were formed in 1952 when the British actually turned around and left here. There is a rule in the UAE that you can actually walk into court and you can say, I want to be tried under British law. That was one of the legacies that was left. So you can actually be tried under British law in this country. And they have to fly a judge out from the UK to judge you.
I won't tell you what I'm doing behind the camera, but I got an awful bad itch and I'm not going to show myself scrapping it.
So, as you were saying, on the WEF.
Yeah.
So you're saying that we should adopt the whole of the WEF?
Sorry, we should do what?
We should adopt the WEF's philosophies.
Not seriously adopt them, but just go
fucking
around
not
like
be put on the
shouting our
cabinet
mouths
now,
off about
mate.
it and saying, "Come on, everyone, do we really have to eat meat? Let's eat insects instead." People will say, "You're mad," and you go, "Yep."
This is what I said when he did his reshuffle. You know, it was bloody obvious he was going to put a bench full of fucking globalists together.
Well, yes, and same as Ireland now have got WEF stooges, but then Keir Starmer lost
Sorry,
half his. I don't know. Maybe they were Muslim population.
It's yeah, and I did say a couple of weeks back. I said something big is going to happen, and it's going to happen very fast.
It's happening now. It's happening right now.
Yeah.
There's a lot of people are upset.
Openly proved, as we've been saying, that they've been openly lying to us. By the way, they've been talking now. They've openly admitted that, basically.
Yes, yeah.
And straight away, as I said, on his first day, he started lying to us again.
Yep.
So, literally, I will be very, very surprised if there are 2 main parties left at the election.
Unfortunately, the system is rigged that there will be.
There you go. There will be.
It's rigged. It's rigged. That's the reason why they won't do proportional representation. That's the reason why they won't do proportional representation. If they did proportional representation,
Murph. Yo!
in the house. Hello, my man.
How you doing,
How
buddy?
you doing? How you doing? All right.
Hey, more
I'm
to
all
the
right.
point.
I'm all right.
How are you?
Hello.
Good to see you, man.
Yeah, yourself, mate.
Yeah, I'm all right. My
You okay?
signal's probably going to be. Your signal's probably going to be shit, so it might keep cutting off. If it does, I'll just.
I've just muted you for a minute so Dan can speak because everybody's trying to speak over him. Go ahead, Dan.
No, just to say, my signal's probably going to be shit. I'm on a train. But if it keeps going off, I'll just piss off and come back later.
Yeah, no worries, mate.
But yeah, I'm on my way back home now. Fucking worn out. Wasn't expecting to stay as long as it stayed, but you know, it's up until today, it's done my mental health good. But having to come away is not so good for my mental health.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I understand that.
Must be tough, man. Must be tough.
You travelling back up to Liverpool tomorrow, yeah?
No, now.
Oh, you're
Now.
travelling back to your mum's now.
Yeah, no. That's where I've been. I'm heading back to Liverpool now.
Well, what we do, look, we'll leave you alone in the morning. You sleep as long as you want, as long as you fucking need. And when you wake up, just pop up and give us a nod, say you got there okay. And that.
Yeah, well, I'll drop you a message when I get home anyway. I should be home about half 10, about half 10, quarter to 11. I should be home, so I'll drop you a message anyway once you get back.
Take care, buddy.
I
Take care.
might not be up to read it, but Heather will.
Yeah, well, it'll be there for you when you wake up anyway. I'm sorry to the people in the chat. I can't see your comments while I'm on here. It's, I know I can change to the chat, but
usual get the fat twat off and no.
Just the usual stuff. Just the usual.
No, it's been a nice chilled stream again, and first thing everybody was asking how you were.
yeah, I'd be disappointed if there wasn't somebody saying, "Where's the fat? Get the fat twat off."
We've been having quite a good laugh, to be honest.
Right. Yeah, the signal's breaking up. I might listen. Roger, I'll try and jump back on again in a bit once I get onto the main train.
All right, mate. Yeah, he's breaking up there.
Yeah, he's gone. Wilderness. The wilderness.
Yeah, he did, Stuart. And I know he told me he was disappointed that he couldn't do a lot more. But in fairness, and he did admit, me and Holly did warn him about actually attempting it to start with anyway.
Look, the willing was there. The willing was there.
He wanted to do it.
Yeah, he wanted to do it. And you can't stop him. You can't stop his drive.
No. And it's like sometimes when he struggled through live streams, he's there because he wants to be. He does.
Yeah.
If there's one thing he fucking hates, letting people down.
I know, he's not a performing fucking monkey. You know what I mean? He's got something valid to say. He's got something valid to say, and it's headstrong. Headstrong, I call it. Yeah. Just like me, just like you, just like everyone else. That's why. Welcome to the Friday night bar.
To be honest, Stuart, there was quite a few heroes there last weekend.
Stitches that a Trump hat.
Quite a few, what I would call anti-heroes. They were there for the right reason.
Stitches that a Trump hat.
No.
But they went the wrong way around doing it.
Right,
I don't mean the football boys.
MAGA.
I called it a MAGA hat earlier on.
MAGA.
Right.
Yeah.
Shut up now. So I can speak.
Sorry, mate. No, we were just talking about the MAGA. Stitches wearing a MAGA hat, so we just had to reference.
There was what I call anti-heroes. As I said, not the football boys or any of them lads there. But there were several groups that went around things the wrong way. But they got the same treatment everybody else got. So, in fairness. But, yeah, there was a lot of heroes there. We saw things from a lot of angles, a lot of viewpoints. And as I said earlier on, I actually went across to a couple of streams that I'd found and had a look on some pro-Palestinian streams to see what they were saying and what they were doing. And I'll be totally honest, from what I saw, they did have their own groups of agitators as well. It wasn't all of them. Yeah, all right, some of the slogans and what they were standing for wasn't right. Technically, could be classed as a hate crime and they could have been arrested for it. But again, the police showed their bias. Now, with the English, I'll say English, they were picking people out of the crowd, targeting people, penning people, kettling them to get what they want. Now, with the pro-Palestinians, all they've done is said, we took videos, we've took pictures, we will publish them. If anybody knows who they are, we want to talk to them. So
asking us to identify.
That was, again, a total piece of bias. If you're going to treat one side going in, you should exactly the same the other side. if you consider the same offences were being caused, which, according to the police, the same offences were being caused on both sides, then both sides should have been treated equally, and it was openly that they weren't. Choice life.
Blatant.
So Tom is over there as well, Stuart. Fucking hell, I've been missing so much. So Tommy Robertson is in Israel with Mertusi.
Oh my fuck! Is he?
Yeah. But
Oh.
no, Tommy wasn't involved in anything
He
over
wasn't.
the weekend.
I know he wasn't. I know.
He did turn up. He did give a bit of a speech, apparently, and then he was gone.
He had the West Ham boys with him.
Sorry.
He had the West Ham boys with him. He turned round. He went, and the only thing they were doing was going to protect the 11 o'clock bugle.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's it.
you hear why they arrested him for giving that speech? He was allowed to give the speech, not this weekend. I don't think it was. The police agreed to give him a certain amount of time to give a speech.
Yeah.
He run 3 minutes over that time.
No, he was on a gagging order. He was on a gagging order.
No, hang on. You don't even know what happened, Murph. The police arrested him for running 3 minutes over time. Now, it was proved that in that speech, them 3 minutes he run over was telling people to leave and leave peaceably and quietly. He was actually trying to calm the crowd down, telling
He's
them
got nothing to worry about. Yeah.
and they arrested him for trying to keep it peaceful. He wasn't giving a speech or anything. He was just
No, I know that. Yeah, I know.
and the fuckers arrested him for it. I don't follow him.
Even I do follow him. I do follow him because I want to see what he's saying. I want to understand what he's saying because I don't agree with his politics and I don't agree with the left politics. I'm middle of the road. I want everyone to get on with everyone.
He fought like the grooming gangs and stuff like that. Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm with him that should have been dealt with. It should have been fucking stopped. With that, yeah. 100. But now he's become a celebrity. And
Call him a celebrity.
yeah, a media, social media celebrity. He's very
Yeah,
but he has been popping up lately.
But when you talk Tommy Robertson, it's negative.
Yeah. That's all right, Stitch. Not a problem, sweetheart. Not a problem at all. I mean, I'm struggling now myself at the moment. So I might give it another 5 to 10 minutes and I can catch up with our mate here as well then.
Yeah, exactly.
Then we've got to start thinking about arranging food but yeah, it's just been, I don't know why. I'm not watching any more shit on here than I normally do. But
There's been a negative connotation. There's been a negative connotation going on. I mean, there's a march going on in Leeds tomorrow about anti-Islam. They've organised another march tomorrow in London.
It's not a march in London. They're actually going in and they're just going to protest the train stations.
Yeah, they hit when Labour tabled this motion for a ceasefire. They were targeting last night as well. I mean, it's instant hit mob.
Right. Well, now, did you see the video I put out yesterday with all these MPs resigning on both sides?
On both sides, yeah.
Now, I showed that they can't formally resign as an MP. They can step down from the bench
Step down from the bench, but they can't resign. No.
They have to apply for the Chilterns and get a profit of office.
And that comes from Cromwell.
But think about it. The earliest they said that there would be an election was May. Now, a stepping down MP, resigning MP, cannot take another post for 6 months.
Yeah.
which puts it slap bang in the middle of when that fucking election is. And then
Exactly.
they all jump ship, and it'll
They'll-
be bang, we're in.
They will all come back into the cabinet again, and we've already established that they want their pro Hamas.
Yeah. It's tomorrow, Dan. The train station protest for tomorrow.
You notice Angela Rayner didn't resign.
No, obviously for one reason only.
Yep. You know what her next job is?
Exactly the reason why Braverman hasn't gone very far.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
She, a minister. Yes, sorry. Yeah, she gained a bit of public support by a few. I mean, she's always talked the right talk that the
Yeah.
public can hear, but we've never seen any action. So she was starting to gain a bit more support. Right,
Do you know, I'd like to see. Do you know, I'd like to see him.
right up to the point where she made that comment on the homeless.
Yeah, that was take the sense away from them. Not,
And I've been saying for quite some time, she is just sucking people in to get support behind her. Because if anybody makes a move on the PM, it will come and it will be around her, more or less.
no, I think a couple of articles she did. I think what we should be looking at is Morden. Morden is going to be might be the next one. And Morden, she's a royalist, which is WEF. Pure signed up member of the WEF.
They all are, mate. They all are. They're all
Yeah.
WEF. They're all for the WEF, and
Yeah.
literally, it's only the laws of this country and the royal decrees that are stopping them signing up to this WHO treaty as well, the Emergency Act thing.
So there is actually some resistance coming from the constitution, so to speak, of this country.
Yes, there is. Yeah,
Yes,
there's
there
constitution
is
for a
in
different
law.
reason. She is called the Lord Rod. She is the only one who's allowed to give the king his crown from Parliament. She is the head. She is like the royal head of Parliament. Penny Morden is fucking very, very well connected, and she will be a dame, a duchess, and everything else going after. Don't worry about Penny Morden.
The only way they can circumnavigate it, and it's obvious that Chubby Fingers ain't going to do fuck all. They'll go to him, capping it, and he'll just let him do what he wants. Well, because don't forget he's a WEF supporter as well.
Can I ask a question? What would your thoughts be on a Corbyn government?
I wouldn't fucking want anywhere near it, mate. Wouldn't want to go anywhere near it.
The other one was getting to the stage where it needed
It's,
just wasn't holding
No.
the card
What's your thoughts?
because I have
This guy's a complete shyster, and well, maybe I'm working on sort of dumbass information, but isn't he sort of so left that he's supporting all sorts of anti-UK groups from abroad,
Yes.
along with Brian Abbott?
Yeah.
They're completely aligned with the downfall of the West.
So Corbyn is extreme left, and an anti-Semite, obviously, because he supports all of the Arabic.
90-degree to the left.
Yeah, 90 degree. And I'm just trying to find the middle ground. I mean, all of us have got concerns. All of us have got passions. And where's the middle ground that we can find that we can turn?
There isn't a middle ground because the public and the media won't let you have it. That's why those of us that were roughly into the middle of it have all now been branded far right. That's how they want it. They want the far
I
left.
embrace far right. I embrace far right. Yeah, I'm middle, but I embrace far right.
I'd rather be far right than a little bit left.
Exactamente. I swing to the right.
But above all, we
TMI,
are right.
TMI.
We're not just right, we are right. Right, guys, I'm going to call it there because my eyes are starting to go again.
No problem, my man.
I
Mrs.
would
W,
like
have a
to
great
see
night.
what I'm gonna
Enjoy
make.
your time. Enjoy your food.
Um,
Cheers, Murph. I've got to cook it yet.
before I go, again, everybody in the chat, excellent. I'm so glad of how you guys conducting that yourselves in there. And as Dan said himself, it is refreshing to be in a stream where moderators don't have to do any work.
I was off shopping till Bri turned up.
So, no, it's made a big difference to the streams. I mean, I don't know how Dan feels in them, but I feel more relaxed. You know,
It's Friday night.
all the other ones, but there was a lot more work involved because you had to keep an eye on anybody.
Highlight of the week, Roger.
Hey?
You're the highlight of the week, your streams.
Well, thank you, kind sir.
We come together and we just have a little chat and do. Tomorrow I will fire brand again. Tomorrow I'll be live stream and I will turn around and kick ass.
So that only leaves me to thank the panel, those that came in. Always nice to see the guys in here. And Moo pops up at the last minute. Look.
No, always is. Parrots are always late. Parrots are always late, but they're effective.
Don't forget, hopefully we'll have Dan back live Sunday night, as long as he's feeling okay. If you are, Dan, if there is any issues, just give me a shout. And that only leaves me to say, as always, stay safe, stay strong, stay free. Respects all you lovely people.
Last